You're listening to Empire of Rust, the world's first and only Transformers RPG podcast. Join the heroes of Icon as they defend Cybertronian civilization from the remnants of Cybertron First to Lord Starscream's egotistical leadership, and beyond to the unknown threats on the other side of distant stars.
Welcome back to Empire of Rust, the one and only Transformers RPG podcast. And this is the long-awaited, long-anticipated episode 60. Why is that, Pat?
Well, because since episode 20, we've been waiting in anticipation.
Pation. If you haven't listened to episode 20 in a while, go ahead and listen to that again, and you will get the joke. So, awesome.
If you haven't listened to episode 20 at all, boy, you must be confused.
People do like doing the re-listens.
So yeah, you guys just finished up a couple of individual stories about what you guys were doing during the few weeks you had off after dealing with Quick Switch and Cybertron First. You managed to clear out Steelhaven, got all that taken care of, and did a whole bunch of stuff in the meantime, and got yourselves a whole lot of information and maybe some plot threads that you guys will need to explore as we go on.
Threads.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's next, definitely.
Well, that's good there, Matt, because the next step is all about you. We need to head on over to Scarvix to deal with your your shit there.
Your criminal past.
I thought we were making a stopover, or were we going to Scarvix first?
That is totally up to you. You guys can go ahead and deal with the whole space bridge thing first, or you can head over to Scarvix first. So I'll leave that up to you guys.
I had a thought on that, because the bounty hunters that are bringing him aren't just going to be like, oh, hey, yeah, that's cool. Like, we'll catch up afterwards. But if Starscream's like, no, they're doing this. Like, this is one of those few instances where he'd actually be useful. You're welcome to follow us, but we're going to go and do this thing.
I mean, they might not care very much, though, because they didn't particularly care about Cybertron Authority the first time. We were working for the government before, too. I mean, maybe that could still do the trick. I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to think of that because I was like, oh, wait, we might have to go. And obviously we could just skip town, and then have them chasing after us later. But I feel that would cause unnecessary tension, which means we should totally do it.
The space bridge wasn't exactly an urgent matter, was it? I mean, yeah, sure, it was important, but was it urgent?
No, I mean,
which one?
Discovering, going to that planet with the new space bridge.
I thought it was urgent.
Whoever gets there first tends to make first contact. That's a pretty urgent thing. So, now granted, should we have Magnum making first contact with anything? No.
What are you talking about? I'm the diplomatic bee's knees.
Is first contact typically a dangerous undertaking?
Well, it can be. Depends on what you make first contact with.
You know what? I vote we go to Scarvix, take care of Magnum's little mishap, so I can be free and clear to focus on the next mission, which should be the space bridge, the thingamabob, the planet, that place.
And forgive me, did we actually find the thing that was stolen?
Yes.
So the thing that he's being accused of stealing, we actually have, so we could give it back and then just be like, fuck off?
Yeah, if we want to give it back.
Well, it's like what is the benefit of not giving it back? It's a holy grail sort of thing, and I just kind of go, whatever. Are you going to merge with it?
Well, I was going to look it over when we had some time, because it's an artifact of some sort.
So how many? So we have two.
So I mean, maybe Mike could tell me what we find out about it before we hand it over to anyone, because I'm not going to tell anyone that I have it except for you guys.
Right.
So
well, it was in their care for a very, very long time, was it not? Totally safe.
Certainly, millions of years, long time.
Technically, it does belong to them.
Wait. How long ago did Magnum steal it?
At most, a couple of hundred to maybe 1,000 years ago.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like just before we met. Okay.
It would probably be like 50 to 100 years, probably.
Sure.
If that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's about how long he was on. That's about how long. Well, maybe it could be longer than that. Because I mean, he's done stuff since he got off Junkion. So,
No, I'm fine with you
I
defining
guess
that.
maybe a couple hundred. Couple hundred would be reasonable.
Sounds
Give
good
or
to
take,
me.
more or less.
But yeah, so from what you remember and what you figured out, that crystal, the binding crystal, is likely the data core of an ancient Cybertronian. And all of the data pads that you found in Quickswitch's office were copies and kind of like working files of the information that was on that data crystal. So, Magnum, you understand that all the information on those data pads is effectively a copy of the stuff that was found in the data crystal, even though it's not quite easy to translate for you. You're working on it at the moment.
So, but we have another copy. If we gave this away, we'd still have the data.
Correct.
Is what you're saying? Okay.
Bingo.
But I mean, one is just like the diary of an ancient Cybertronian, and the other one's the soul of an ancient Cybertronian that we could like speak with dead or some weirdness.
It's like more like his disembodied brain.
Turn this into the Transformer Diaries.
Oh man! But is that more accurate? Is it a disembodied brain versus like a space ghost?
When you say the data core, it's effectively all the stored memories of the Explorer. It's not like his spark or anything. It's more like the records of like his life, so to speak, like his memories.
Sort of like ancient data tracks.
Yeah.
No, but I guess is there a functional difference between what's in the original and what's copied? Like, is one like, oh, the description of it versus I can live it as though it's mine?
You think that they're pretty equivalent.
Okay.
If his spark was a part of that, you could probably like try to do what you just said, like live the experience somehow. Mm-hmm. But without his actual like his spark there, it's not living in any sense anymore.
Do we as a habit, do we record like our interactions with other people?
Sweet Spot does.
Because like we had a confession from Quickswitch that he was the one that actually stole it in the first place. So if we just go to that planet and say, oh, here's the confession of the guy that actually stole it, and here it's back.
I think the confession, quote unquote, that you're talking about is him and Magnum gonna working, or him telling Magnum to do it, or him contracting with Magnum to do it.
Right.
So it's not so much that he confessed to do it, but you think that kind of evidence could work against you a little bit.
Well, the trouble is, I mean, the truth is that, as far as we can tell, he did steal it.
Right, but the person that did it is actually dead. And, like, so, like, if someone hires an assassin, the person who hires the assassin is just as culpable as the assassin. Because the assassin wouldn't be doing it if they weren't being paid to do it.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's like someone who's had an entire personality change.
Right. I mean, so
since before, but it's...
He also admitted to killing your other head. Like, so, like, the person that committed the act is dead. You know? Like, what is their goal? Getting the object back or punishing the guilty? In which case, that's already been done. In both cases, because they're both
severely.
Dead. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a good case to argue. I mean, it's going to be a legal. I mean, this is like any case that there's mental problems with. You know, only incredibly unique. You know, I mean, I guess that's probably a philosophical question amongst Transformers. If your brain gets blown up and then you survive. I mean, he didn't lose his entire brain; he just lost most of it. So
this must be a common thing, though. I mean, like, it's not like you're the first headmaster to exist. It's like this sort of, you know, synergistic relationship is commonplace. So, like, you would...
Yeah, it's not always due to trauma, though.
Well, but I mean, I guess that's the question. It's like, if your head is guilty of a crime and the body was just there, and the head then leaves and you get a new head, like... It's like the ship of Perseus. It's like, which one is? Where does the onus of the crime end?
Oh, I know. That's why I meant philosophical question. Although he wasn't a headmaster before this, so
what was he?
He was just a Transformer. He's a zeroth level character, probably.
Wait, so you were just a Transformer, Magnum, and then your head was blown off.
Yeah.
For some reason, you didn't die, and then another bot just kind of like jumped on your body.
He was severely brain damaged, and he was trapped on Junkion for like 50 to 100 years.
Okay, well,
and he couldn't move.
The Junkions.
And Pythagoras was able to repair him by them becoming a headmaster. Basically.
Yeah, you need to listen to his origin episode. Granted, we haven't recorded it yet, but you need to listen.
I'm like, I don't know where that. I don't think I've heard that. Okay, there's a good reason.
Yeah, I mean,
it might actually be the first time you said it on air.
I mean, Quick Switch coming into it is as much of a surprise to me as anyone else. But
I mean, obviously, I love talking about this weird kind of shit. It's just like, to me, like, in a world that's, a culture that's lasted for hundreds of millions of years, you would think that they would have dealt with this at one point or another, Well,
they actually may have. That's why we need to get into the legal niceties of it, right. I think.
Okay.
So I guess what do we want? Do we want Magnum would be all good for going for the space bridge first. He's not in any hurry, so all depends on if my jailers are going to let us.
Let's go ahead and put it to a vote then. So Adam said to deal with Scarvix first. Matt, you want to deal with the space bridge first? Pat or Mike, what do you guys want to do?
I mean, I find the space bridge more appealing as a concept, like going to a planet specifically to legalese with the possibility of one of my friends like being lost. It's like, well, if I could do another thing, I'd do that.
Yeah.
So the question is now, does Matt get 2 votes, though?
We need to get Rex back to get a bunch of votes.
And Mike, what about you? What's your preference? What do you want to do?
Well, you also know that Starscream asked you specifically to get us to go.
Right.
So
there's another location that I'd like to visit, whether it's before or after, I don't care. But it's nearby where we're going.
Scarvex or the other one?
It's a little past Scarvex.
Okay.
It's near Tiona.
I think it's pronounced Tijuana.
Oh. All right, we're going there first.
What have I done?
What you had to.
Yeah, while we're out here, as long as we can go there, I don't care where we go first.
So 1 for Scarvix, 1 for Scarvix, 2 for the space bridge, and 1 abstain.
So I guess we're going to the space bridge.
Well, it's right near where he needs to go.
Well, because, I mean, simultaneously, this will let you have some time to play with the toy first. Because I really like the idea of, like, us, gathering the 5 legendary artifacts and making them into a combiner somehow,
He's got combiner fever. Someone give him something quick.
Oh, speaking of which, what did we decide about Legionnaire?
No, not the combination of Matrix.
He will go with you if you want.
Okay.
He is on the ship at the moment, so...
Okay. Oh, that actually,
cool.
What Adam just brought up, is knowledge of the Matrix like a common thing?
Yes and no. On Cybertron, especially among the Autobots and Decepticons, it is fairly common knowledge because Optimus Prime claimed to be the first official or real Matrix bearer in quite a while. And
Are you talking about the Matrix or the Enigma?
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Well, I'm talking about the Matrix.
Yeah. Adam said the Matrix.
I was talking. I said Matrix, but I was thinking of the Enigma.
On the colony worlds, it is fairly mythic and it's mythic and legendary, so it's not common knowledge aside from being a religious artifact. So it would be assumed that Optimus Prime would have it, or the current Prime would have it, but again, from the colonies, you're not 100%. They're not 100% certain. Wild Strike, you would know because you were around on Cybertron when Optimus made the claim, and you probably just think it's another relic of the Primes in their authoritarian leadership. So I don't know what your thoughts on the Matrix is or are.
So, like, from, like, that's interesting. Like, says he might think it's, like, almost like the crown. Like, this represents royalty, and it's important because we say it is. And he's just like, fuck you. it's a hat.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like... Yeah, like, basically it's like the crown to an old royalty that no longer has any claim to any type of authority.
Fascinating.
I like it.
Like, that's a relic of the old Cybertron.
In terms of like other relics, like for example, the Enigma of Combination, those are very mythical and just shrouded in a lot of mystery because the Enigma was talked about on occasion just as this kind of like legendary artifact, but was never seen, never claimed. I'm sure that over the course of millions of years, someone said, "Hey, I saw it over on this planet," but it didn't happen. So what you would have found out is that the Enigma was found on Earth, and it apparently had fallen to Earth millions of either hundreds of thousands or millions of years ago, and some of the Transformers who had arrived on Earth had discovered it and then brought it back to Cybertron, where hilarity ensued.
Of course.
Was that before or us?
Both. So yes, the Enigma was very. It was like talking about the Holy Grail. Like for us, it was just no one really knew where it was, and no one had seen it just until it came back from Earth. Now, a couple people have seen it, yourselves included.
So, like, I'm curious, like, like with like, the Matrix, there's like that spot you can kind of put it in, like while we're in Alloy. I wonder if there's like a spot that we were to like put it in and be like, now we are like the Paragon combiner.
You'll just have to steal the Enigma back for yourselves and try it out again, huh?
Did we give it back?
What do you mean steal?
I would assume you probably gave it back to Ironhide.
Wait, no, what?
Clearly,
Why
you
would
haven't
we do
played a
that?
role-playing game. We go by pirate rules. Take everything, give nothing back.
Okay, no, that's completely accurate. That's completely fair. Who has the Enigma, or where did you put it? It's a legendary artifact. It needs to be accounted for.
Not it.
I mean, do we actually want it? I mean, obviously, like I don't mind not having it because I think we've kind of gotten the use out of it that we're going to get. But it's like it
might be good. Might be good to give it back.
The assumption that we just did it without consulting us, though, no.
we just don't want to stray shot and then suddenly become one with a nearby mailbox.
Yeah, the thing's caused nothing but trouble.
But at the same time, like, what is the use of it if we don't use it? Like, if it's just going to be locked away, like, how is that useful?
It's not. And we don't need to worry about that. It's okay. Let it go.
Okay.
We could give it to the divisions.
But why?
God, they would love you for that.
We'd be heroes on the entire planet. So we'd have somewhere to go when we inevitably get hunted down by the authorities.
Why would the divisions want it?
Because it's like their central religious artifact.
Oh, okay.
Because they're all like mini combiners,
Right.
All the divisions are two-part combiners. They're robots who combine into one alt mode.
Okay.
And all divisions are like that, so they idolize the combiners.
So would you actually be saying that 10 divisions combine or 5 divisions combine?
They're pairs.
2.
No, but each one is 2. So that's 2 people. So if each one's like a leg and so are there 10 or would there just be 5?
You're talking about a recursive combiner here.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I think probably 10 then.
That's awesome.
2 for each main body part.
I'll form the shins.
So you guys head over to the Steelhaven and get on board. All of your friends are currently on the Steelhaven.
Ooh, who's here?
Silverlode is the captain.
Hey.
I was going to say all two of them.
Yep.
Pretty empty in here.
Beta Taurus is acting first mate.
Hey there.
You have Rail in engineering. You have Blue Shift in engineering. Yep, Blue Shift is back over here.
Uh-huh.
Legionnaire is here, of course. And, of course, there are a bunch of other bots on here that are going to act as the crew of the Steelhaven. We'll meet them as time goes along. But you guys get on up to...
Hey, didn't we rename this to the Titanic?
I think that would be a bad idea.
Only Magnum would know what the Titanic is. So in his mind, it's the Titanic.
A lot of things in his mind that probably shouldn't be shared everywhere.
Or anywhere.
Agreed.
You guys head on up to the bridge. Anything you want to do on the ship before you folks take off? Don't forget Bulkhead and his engineering team are also on board. So you got a bunch of people on here. And and Hardtop and Diurnal are around as well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Are they the ones that want to bring him to Scarvex?
Mm-hmm.
The only way we're going to be able to go on this trip is with them. Without them fighting us.
Hardtop wants to keep an eye on Magnum.
Okay. I guess one of the first questions I would have is, like, what are the ship's tactical defenses? Like, does it have shields? Does it have weapons? How armored is it? Like,
Does it actually have internal sensors?
Yeah. It's like, did we fix the TV that we broke? I mean, like, that's important,
Well, you know what? I'm going to toss this over to Mike and Adam then, because the two of them worked together to actually give this ship some stats. So I'll throw it over to one of you guys, and you can talk briefly about what the ship has.
Well, I'm going to say that is an inaccurate statement because I did not do that.
Well then. Adam, it's all you. Go for it.
What we got here is a state-of-the-art, huge cruiser frame. If anyone is familiar with the Starship settings from Starfinder. The ship is a total tier 14. Top speed of 10. What we have for systems in place is... computers are a Mach 3 tetranode. That means up to 4 of us can get a +3 to any one roll for Starship combat. The sensors are the ultra long range. The quarters are good. Not excellent. Not fancy or nothing. It is still a military ship at its base core. The armor is, of course, a Mach 3, adamantium laced. And the shields are a heavy 420. 420 is the total, and 120 is the...
I'm seeing 480.
Yeah, that's what I said, 480.
Okay, just making sure.
The current and total hit points are 255 because we did not battle to get our way on board the ship. Therefore, it is pristine and lovely and has a new paint job.
Except for all the energon splashed all over the place.
That's on the inside. We have maintenance for that.
What about your weapons? What do you got for weapons going on?
Crap.
Oh, my, let me tell you something about these weapons. It is a capable warship able to defend the planet.
Yeah,
and we are going to be taking it away from the planet, unfortunately. Let's see. In the forward, it has a capital-sized weapon. The gravity cannon.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
It does 2d6 times 10 for the damage to other starships it hits. In addition to this, it can be used as a tractor beam.
Nice.
It has a pair of heavy laser cannons that are linked together so they fire as one weapon. It does 8d8 points of damage. Medium range on that one.
Wait, so is that 8d8? So is it actually 16 or is it 48 times 2?
No, it's combined.
Okay, so 8d8. So it's 48.
It's 4d8 twice.
Okay.
Yep. The port and aft have a different weapon. The port and starboard have same weapons. So there is a laser net on both sides that are capable of shooting down incoming tracking weapons.
A laser net. Think about that for a second. An energon net that's being launched from the ship like a whaling ship here.
It's quite the sight. Those are only short range, and they can only fire in short range, but they do get an automatic shot on any incoming torpedoes. On the port and starboard side, it also has a light laser cannon, which it's a pair of them, so they are linked. The aft is mounted with a heavy laser cannon, just because you don't want to leave any side of the ship undefended. And it also has a turret, just for versatility, has a heavy, persistent particle beam cannon, which does 10 D6 points of damage. And that is a warship.
We gotta take this thing next time we go into dungeon crawling.
This is the dungeon crawl.
I have my other character in another game is just like salivating through the fourth wall. You know.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Damn it, get the mop.
Again.
But here's the important question. Did you fix the TV you broke?
Or that black circle, you know, the glass that that Magnum cannonballed through.
Nope, that's still broken.
Okay.
In fact, there's wood planks up there now.
I don't think we need to fix
It's
it.
impressive considering that there's no wood on the planet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Where'd we get the wood?
That's like fixing your plumbing with solid gold.
Solid gold.
So excellent weapons, excellent equipment on there. No TV, unfortunately, but, you know, it's a warship. You got to make do with what you got. Okay, so you are all up on the bridge, and Silverlode asks you, "Are you guys ready to take off?"
I think that we are. Are you ready to captain this here vessel? I know that you are rather emotionally attached to the Metallicus.
It was a difficult decision to give it up, but the honor of being able to shuttle you folks around and to be in command of this incredible ship, you know what? I think I'm going to be okay with it.
I know you are, and I'll pat him on the back. Clank, clank.
He strikes the Captain Morgan pose, points upward. Take us out. And with that, the engines spin up, and the Steelhaven takes off, heading into orbit, and launches off towards the Dakrima system. It takes 5 days to traverse all of the galaxy to get to the Dakrima system. We haven't really talked too much about downtime in cases like this, but if you do want to try and train some skills, you are welcome to do that. You'll have 5 days to work on anything. But let's just kind of talk a little bit about what your goals are for those 5 days. What you want to work on, what's important to you. Sweet Spot. We'll start with you. You have 5 days. Just give me kind of an idea, like what are you working on? What do you want to do during this time?
Probably want to bone up a little bit on my scientific knowledge, since how we're going to be going someplace where, that might come in handy. I want to be able to recognize some sciencey stuff happening if I see it.
Okay, sounds good to me. What about you, Carapace? What's 5 days looking like for Carapace?
It's been a while since I've been in such a large ship, so I'm actually going to be practicing piloting when I can, just because it's something that I was working on before we started, and this feels like a good opportunity to do that. So I was going to say, and because I have once taken this ship, I would like to make it so that can't happen again.
Yes.
I'm going to pull like an Admiral Thrawn.
All right, well, Carapace, you know that you managed to effectively unhook the door, like the emergency escape door on the side of the ship. So what would you like to do? Would you like to, like how do you want to approach this?
I will remember that and then speak to an engineer and someone who's actually skilled in such things, because I am not that.
Good bot.
Okay.
Know thy limitations.
Yes. I learned that from you.
Oh, I'm all about the limitations of other bots.
We can say that you'll spend probably 2 days, like 2 days of that time, kind of help talking with the engineer, helping him, like trying to figure out, like just explaining in detail how you guys broke in, and kind of working with him to kind of like set up either a defense grid or set up something to prevent that from happening in the future.
So should I spend so we do this in like 8-hour increments? So should I put like 2 of those into engineering, because I actually don't have that? That's a skill I eventually was going to work on, and then the other 3 in piloting.
Sure, I'm okay with that.
Cool, I will do that.
All right, Wild Strike. What are you up to for these 5 days?
I'm assuming the ship has some sort of database of information that could be downloaded from Cybertron that we could do research with.
Yeah, certainly.
I would like to do that. Specifically, see if I can find anything on Tiona or that area in the past. Basically trying to research the information that I found from what's-his-face that was in the jail.
Sandstorm? Ooh, I remembered.
Yes. See if I can find any of that information. So I'd be working on my computer skill, which I have none of.
Okay.
I learned to wield keyboards as weapons. That's my knowledge of computers. I will strangle you with this cord.
Don't hit me with the Anti key. Not the Anti key.
That sounds good to me. And last but certainly not least, Magnum. What are you up to?
All right, let's see. Well, Pythagoras is going to spend at least a couple days analyzing that data core, or the information from it, since we still have it right now, and just try to get any information out of it that he can. And then he's going to be working on, it's not on the, I don't know why they left it off the character sheet, I don't know, but he actually has profession lawyer that I put on him a couple levels ago.
Nice.
Really?
So he's going to be studying Scarvik's law.
That's very prudent.
Build his case.
That is...
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of why was studying that, so I put that as a skill point into that.
I'm suddenly having a lot of flashbacks from the movie My Cousin Vinny.
It's a trick question.
That's actually kind of awesome. You started going profession lawyer with him.
Thought it might come in handy.
I don't know. I object.
And Magnum himself, he's going to spend a lot of time in alt form, connected to their computer. He will try to integrate into all the control systems and understand all the sensors. Identify anywhere that we might need, because right now we have the captain's key, so he should have access to everything. Mm-hmm. He will essentially master the controls of everything that he can in the ship, plus all the sensors. So he will basically study the ship, and he will study the crew and listen to all the communications and process it all.
Eavesdrop everything.
He has no qualms about that. You should know by now. So.
Yep. All right. Nope. That's fine. And it's an interesting experience for Magnum, actually getting all the sensor data from inside the ship as well as outside. And I will say that you find 2 sensor blind spots within the ship. And one is like a storage room that is off of the equipment storage for like fighters. And then there is a corner of the shuttle bay that for some reason it's not possible to see. If you want to spend some time, you can go ahead and maybe talk with an engineer, talk with Blue Shift, and get those sections back into sensor range.
Yeah, definitely. Probably going to send him down there and find like 6 Transformers all huddled in the corner drinking.
You know how there's like the idea of like rolling bones? Like what would be like the bones equivalent for Transformers, like rolling circuits or something?
Nuts.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, like as you kind of do this and you kind of figure out that these 2 spots were blanks, were dead center spots, you do kind of realize that it was probably intentional. Maybe the previous crew had blinded those spots so they could, just get off sensors every once in a while. Have an Energon cigarette.
Not on my watch.
What do you mean? You're the number 1 smoker.
Yeah, like it's like smoke doesn't affect us.
I would be interested to meet another Transformer that smoked, because he hasn't so far. And I'll also make sure, of course, I understand how far the external ones go.
They are long-range sensors too, so you can see quite far.
Ultra long range.
Hey, sweet spot, I can see your house from here.
In your case, that's just all you have to do is look in a mirror.
You come out of FTL along the edges of the Dakrama system. Silverlode orders a full sensor sweep of the quadrant as soon as you drop out. 10 light minutes ahead of the ship is the shattered remnants of a moon orbiting an enormous gas giant. Scans show the location of something that might be a space bridge buried deep within the debris field, and the sensor profile of a ship near it. And just so you can see, I just shared this with you folks. That is what the moon looks like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
It looks like a comet or an asteroid moving very quickly hit the planet and tore just a giant chunk out of it.
Are you sure it wasn't a Super Saiyan?
The space bridge is on the moon?
It seems like the space bridge is somewhere within the debris field near that split-off continent.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
that was going to be my next question. Is it on the major piece or the next piece?
I think I see it.
What is our specific orders? Just so are we supposed to be claiming this for Cybertron, just getting it working, or investigating if it's functional?
Yes, D. All of the above.
Metroplex managed to get a signal from the space bridge, so it looks like it has at least the barest minimum of power, or at least its locator beacon is functional. Metroplex was not able to get a connection with the space bridge, so it seemed like the space bridge was either disconnected somehow, buried, damaged, destroyed, for some reason. But he was able to get, like I said, he was able to get a locator beacon signal from it to be able to track where it was. And Starscream wanted you to investigate the space bridge just to see if it actually has a planet to it, if there's a civilization there, and 2, establish contact, get the space bridge working. If not, then try to reclaim it, try to repair it. Effectively just investigate, see what's going on with it, and then try to resolve whatever the problem is. Because in the end, having a space bridge connection to a new place is always a good thing.
Yeah, it would save us 5 days.
So are all space bridges connected to each other, or do they only link back to Cybertron?
All are connected to each other.
Okay. If, say, this planet is totally worthless, can a space bridge be moved? Could it be disassembled and then rebuilt somewhere else, or is it like a phenomenon that occurs based on space-time?
That is a question for an engineer.
Okay. Yeah, that was Patrick asking, not Carapace.
Carapace could want to be curious too.
All right, I got it. Pythagoras got an 18 on engineering.
An
Actually,
18.
I can assist. I'm not used to assisting. 20 for engineering.
Yeah, okay. So with a 20, you have a basic understanding of space bridge tech, and I mean, to be honest, it is something that is very rare and very unusual to know about. So I'm sure maybe you did some research at one point. You were talking with Bulkhead sometime over the last couple of weeks, and kind of just got a basic understanding of how space bridges function. They are not linked necessarily to one particular location, so they can be moved. However, they require an enormous amount of power to work. So the only places that have functioning space bridges are effectively cities. So the Titans, for instance, because they're so massive and generate so much power, are able to generate the energon needed to run a space bridge. But you think you could attach it to like a city's power grid, as long as it is a very robust city. Like if you just popped it like next to a building or something, you don't think that's going to be able to work.
Even with the heavy duty extension cord.
Even with that cord, yeah. Even with the big fat orange ones, yeah. Even those.
What about?
Damn it! This is a European plug.
What about if we took a big metal hook and plugged it into the back of a DeLorean? Would we be able to get 1.21 gigawatts into the space bridge? Think about it.
Totally, but no one has a DeLorean alt mode.
Oversight. Alright, now a space bridge technology, is this something that is still understood, but enough by someone to build more? Or is this something that nobody knows how to build anymore, so that's why they're looking for them?
The latter there. No one really understands quite how to build them anymore. Repairing is something they can do, but as far as creating new ones, it's just... You think that maybe with time, like maybe Bulkhead could figure out how to do it, or his engineering guild could figure it out, but as of right now, nope, you cannot build new ones.
It has plot level complexity.
Indeed.
Would a starship provide enough power for one of those things?
Not the ship that you're on. If a Titan had a starship alt mode, then yes. And you have actually seen that with Carcer, the Titan in orbit around Cybertron. Carcer has a space bridge.
Oh jeez! Wow! Imagine that popping out over Metroplex.
Man, he's a portable military base.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
That's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Can he move himself using it, or just?
No, the space bridge is effectively like mounted onto him, so it's not like big enough for him to travel through.
Pull himself inside out.
Yeah, that would just be weird. That'd be horrible. But you could travel effectively like to and from Carcer with from a space bridge.
Well, if his alt form was an octopus, he could definitely do that.
He'll have to get a new mode.
Yeah. As long as his beak is bigger than the space bridge, he's good.
So is the beacon still going?
Yeah, it is. So
right.
Silverlode will go ahead and talk to you guys. This is unexpected. I was expecting to find an actual solid planet here. What do you guys want to do here?
Well, I think we ought to maybe try to communicate with that ship that's also within the sensors.
I was gonna say, by communicate you mean scan, right?
Scan first, then talk afterwards. Hopefully, with words instead of weapons. Oh, don't give me that look, Carapace. Always start with words.
I mean, Magnum wouldn't wait for anyone's orders to scan it, so...
Okay, so Magnum, go ahead and give me a computer's roll for the ship's scan, if you don't mind.
So now here's the interesting question. Can Magnum also use the +3 from the ship to aid himself?
I think that's a little over the top.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. No, it's fair.
Oops, wrong one.
Do we have a dedicated science officer other than player characters in this?
That's a good question.
I don't believe so. I mean, there's going to be crew that have a science background that you can use, but...
Okay. I guess at some point, if we're actually going to be using this thing, like having a full crew complement, and I know that's a nightmare, so, but eventually knowing what everybody can do would be good. So, because like half the time, like the reason why starships can do this stuff is you're like, well, how did you roll so high? Well, 6 people were aiding me. You know, you're like, oh, right, because starship, you know.
Yeah, I got a 34.
Damn, Magnum.
No help needed.
Your computer skills never cease to impress me. Okay, here is what you get from the scan. So I'll actually say that you're just scanning the kind of general area around there because the ship is actually fairly close to that beacon. So I'll give you all the stuff in that area. So starting with the space bridge, you can locate damaged pieces of the space bridge. It looks like all the pieces are there, so it looks like it's still like all there, but it's not in one piece anymore. So it has definitely been damaged and broken. So you think that's exactly why Metroplex could not make the connection to this place. The ship looks like it is scanning the debris field. It looks like it's also probably scanning the remains of the space bridge, and it looks like it is attempting salvage operations on some of the debris in the area. And as you're scanning the debris, you can tell that it's not just rock and the space bridge. It's the remnants of a civilization. You can see like broken buildings, you can see technology, you can see what used to be an actual civilization on this moon that is just not there anymore. You're able to identify the ship as an Iridium-class destroyer from the Black Block Consortia. And as you scan it, it looks like it is starting to move away. So you can see its maneuvering thrusters starting to turn it.
So one of the questions I had was, and you might have said this, and I apologize. The damage that's done to the planet, you said, does that look like another planetoid collided with it, or is it something like, someone turned on the bridge and that pulled the planet apart? Maybe it was a sabotaged or something along those lines. Did the explosion come from the outside or from within? That sort of thing.
Give me a physical science check. Whomever wants to try and figure this out.
15 plus 5. I'll add another, just because I know he's way better at it. So that's a 20, so I actually add 4. So 38, 40. Look at you.
43.
Oh, 43. Oh, right, because of the plus 3?
Yep.
Damn. 43. Wow.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
We got a 19 that time.
The DC of that was 15.
Imagine if he was using those senses offensively.
It's allow me to extrapolate a 3D holographic illusion of exactly what happened to the planet.
That's exactly what you do. Yes, you can very easily tell that the planet was destroyed by either a comet or... Actually, no, with the 43, yes, you know for certain. It's a comet. A comet struck the planet likely thousands of years ago. So it doesn't look like this ship had...
Probably natural, not like a mass driver.
Right, exactly.
What's the planet made out of? Is it a metal planet or a rock planet?
It is rock.
Rock planet!
I need it as a ringtone. Rock planet, rock planet, rock planet. All right, well, I will share the information. What do we know about the Black Block
Consortium.
Block Consortium? Thank you.
Give me a culture check.
The BBC was founded in 1964 by...
17.
All right, so that is a... What'd you get, Pat?
17. So plus 2.
31.
31. Yep, more than enough to get this here. So the Black Block Consortia seceded from the Galactic Council hundreds of years ago, but it kept the same philosophy, exploiting unsuspecting inhabited worlds for resources as part of effectively a giant protection racket against the galaxy's mechanical races. The Council was displeased at losing some of their territory, some of their market share to effectively just losing their market share. And the two factions kind of began this turf war hundreds of years ago. Wildstrike, as you were doing research on Teonia, you do know that Teonia is within the Black Bloc Consortia territory. It is very close to the Galactic Council border, though.
Is that a good thing?
Was being in the neutral zone ever a good thing?
Oh no, it's not in the neutral zone. It still is. It still is in the BBC territory. It's just not. It's just close to the border. Between the two of them, the consortium is a little bit more hostile to mechanical life forms than the Galactic Council is, but that's not really saying a whole lot. Most of the organic races in the galaxy are hostile towards mechanical life forms because of the vast philosophical differences between them.
They just jealous because they die and decay and stuff.
Totally.
We can continue to screw up the universe for an indefinite period. We don't have the courtesy to die off like most civilizations.
All right. So, what do you want to do? As you're kind of talking and discussing and kind of looking over the scans on this, you can see the consortium ship is moving away.
Running, or have they not even noticed us?
You think they noticed the scan, and they're not running, but they're kind of moving away. They see you there, and it's like, huh, okay. It is a destroyer-sized ship, so you do outclass them quite a bit. Okay. Your ship is effectively a cruiser-sized ship.
Yeah, you're damn right we do. That's right, we do.
That was going to be my next question. It was wait, are they better than us? Should we be posturing right now?
Can I tell if there's biologicals and mechanicals on board?
Oh yeah, certainly. It's mostly biological. You do get some cyborgs in there, but it's primarily biological.
Oh, are they humanoid, human-sized, or are they Transformer-sized?
It's a mix. Some of them are Transformer-sized humans, and others are human-sized aliens.
Transformer-sized humans.
Yep.
So Titans then.
Yep. Titan from Attack on Titan, not from actual Transformer Titans. Yeah. Just in case someone is listening so far in the future that Attack on Titan isn't a thing anymore.
Oh, I don't think it'll never not be a thing. Someone's always going to be looking for it. Yep, looks like the Primes decided to start over with this one.
Can we see ships? Was there a drop ship from the destroyer down salvaging, or did it look like they literally just got here?
It looks like they were more at the scanning stage, so they may have been here for a little while, but you can see that there were collection arms off of the ship, so it was probably grabbing pieces of technology, not sending ships out, tractor beams as well, just nothing external, just kind of grabbing bits and pieces as they could.
It's probably been mentioned, but whose turf is this right now?
Where's the property line?
This is actually right in the center of Galactic Council territory. So one of the reasons they're moving off probably is that they're also literally in the direct middle of enemy territory.
Okay.
So I don't think they want to get into a fight with you folks.
So what is the official do we have authority here? And where does that authority come from? Is Sweet Spot the leader here, or is the captain the leader?
Silverlode is the captain of the ship, so within the bounds of the ship, his authority is effectively absolute. But his authority does not extend over your mission.
Okay, so he's commander, but we have acting authority.
Right, and you think that because this was a mechanical colony, this was it may have been a colony of Cybertron at one point, or at least a colony of Cybertronians at one point. The Galactic Council did not want anything to do with them, so they probably just left them alone to just do their own thing, as long as the bots here didn't do anything to threaten any planets around them. But also, the reverse of that's true, too. If like when the comet hit, if there were survivors, they lent no aid to them at all.
Okay.
Is there a standard procedure for dealing with ships from other territories?
Yeah, like it's not like fire. Like it's not like fire at will. It's more of like let them go because
you're not at war with the Galactic Council. You're not at war with the BBC. But if a comparable or bigger ship came across you, you fully expect that the Consortium would probably open fire. The Galactic Council would probably just be hostile to you and tell you to get out. And if you didn't, then maybe they'd start a fight.
So Cybertron is part of... I thought Cybertron was part of the Galactic Council, or...
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Cybertron has been blacklisted from the Galactic Council for your, 4 million year civil war.
Apparently we don't play nice with others. Or ourselves.
What do they call the thing that the humans just joined then? The Cybertronian Federation?
The Cybertronian Confederation.
And how big is that? Is it are we 1% of the size of the Galactic Council?
Cybertron, Velocitron, Eucharis, Division, Caminus, and now Earth.
And the Galactic Council's millions of planets.
I think probably thousands, but yeah, okay. They're much bigger. So they actually have full-on territory.
Right. So finding something like this is actually significant then.
Except it's not on our turf.
Right, but that they don't know that.
Not that we owe a lot of allegiance to them anyway. Right. But
so Bulkhead and his Bulkhead comes up to the bridge. What's the situation here? Do we are we going to head out and try to fix this thing or try to get it? What's your plan on dealing with this? My boys are ready to go and fix it, but it's going to be tough getting in there. And you can see that the debris field is it's surrounding it, and it'd be difficult to get in.
Captain, could we possibly use the tractor beam to push a larger chunk similar to a snowplow and make a path?
It's an interesting plan. It might work. We would have to get a medium-sized piece, maybe a piece no larger than the ship. I think after a couple of impacts, though, the piece of debris that we grab is going to start to disintegrate.
Sweet Spot, you have piloting. Wild Strike, you also have piloting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do.
You two can go ahead and give me a piloting check, either individual or aid.
May I assist you, sir?
Sure. So +6. So a 41.
Fist bump. Clang.
You guys take a look at the scans that Magnum did, and take a look at the debris field. And here's what you two think. It's effectively going to be 3 spaces of debris that you need to move through in starship terms, 3 hexes.
Yep.
Effectively. You can try to bring the Steelhaven in. You think it's going to be harder to maneuver the Steelhaven itself in there because it's a much bigger ship and the turns need to be a lot tighter. So it's going to be more difficult to maneuver, but the Steelhaven also has capital ship weapons. So you think that if someone were to man the weapons, they could potentially shoot some of the larger pieces as they get closer and help you out with your piloting checks maneuvering through the debris field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The other option you think is viable is taking a shuttle, for example, like Sweet Spot in a shuttle, and then maneuver through that way. You think it'd be easier to maneuver through because, smaller ship, but if you won't have the ability to destroy anything in your way, and if you get hit with one of those pieces of debris, it is really, really going to hurt.
Never happened.
Unlike the Steelhaven, which has, beefy, robust shields. You think those are probably the 2 best options, but, like anything else you want to give a shot to, you can try.
Well, I'll say that's up to Sweet Spot if he wants to go out.
You know what?
You know the dangers?
Yep. I really haven't had that much time to stretch my legs. And I know it's not going to feel like I'm moving at all when I'm going through space, except that all the debris pieces will be flying by. So that could be exciting. Could be a good little walk in the park for us. Now, do y'all trust me to pilot sufficiently so that we do not get, well, for lack of a better word, smushed?
Pulverized.
I have complete confidence in you, Sweet Pot. Yes.
I mean, if we can get the Steelhaven to kind of shoot a path or gravity a path in front of us while we're doing it, then sure.
Are you saying you do both?
Well,
no,
maybe,
I'm saying
maybe we
so,
could use the
gravity
gun.
well to kind of have to push a rock forward, and then we fly behind it, so it's like a so we're in the equivalent of its slipstream. You know,
2-for-1 deal. I'm down with that plan.
Okay, so Sweet Spot, you are gonna head out, and you said you want to have the Steelhaven kind of push a rock kind of in front. Okay, so effectively both of you both ships are moving. Who is going to be on Sweet Spot and who is going to be on the Steelhaven?
Well, maybe just push the rock and not follow it, just let it go.
Yeah, that was so just kind of push it out with the gravity, and it's just going to keep going. The ship's gone. It's like throwing a baseball and just following behind the baseball.
It will clear a little bit of space ahead,
right?
So there'll be fewer obstacles.
At least in the beginning, and it should make a sufficient escape path should we need to get out of there.
So, Sweet Spot, you are going to be transforming and flying that way after the Steelhaven pushes one of the larger pieces to help clear a path. Who is going to go with Sweet Spot?
Well, we all are, aren't we? That's the point where we're here, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Should we bring the engineers, or should we investigate? We probably should investigate first.
You can probably fit 1 or 2 engineers in there because Sweet Spot is not that big.
Okay.
Maybe 1 engineer?
Yeah, it's a bit of a tight fit. Because don't forget, you guys had the last time you were on a shuttle and you had Sweet Spot piloting and you had a bunch of bodies in there. It was just totally cramped. That was fun. Do you want to bring 1 engineer along with you?
Yeah. Brave soul.
That way they can make a judgment as to how long or what condition they think the space bridge is in.
Is his name Red Shirt?
Red shirt number 1.
Red torso plate. Okay.
Red turtleneck.
So the 4 of you head down to the hangar bay along with one of the engineers. In fact, actually, Bulkhead is the one who is coming up along with you. So the guy in charge. Head down to the hangar bay. Sweet Spot, you transform in the elevator. Everyone piles in. Elevator rises up to the launch tube, and the Steelhaven launches you forward.
All right.
It's actually really interesting too, because the Steelhaven has what's effectively a very slimmed down version of a mass driver on it to help launch you. So you can feel the electromagnetic pulse kind of pull you forward and launch you out of the tube. Get you up to a good speed to start with.
Oh, this tickles. Oh.
I've never heard a Transformer with jowls before.
Jowl former.
Wow.
This is how I'm going to rule it. So you have 3 spaces to go through to get to the space bridge. The Steelhaven shooting a piece of the asteroid into the field has cleared a path through the first space, so you don't need to make any rolls for the first space.
Nice.
Okay.
Now, I want you to make a piloting check on the second space. And you can see as you're moving through that the second space is probably the toughest part of it because there's other bits and pieces of the debris in the asteroid fields are kind of moving around a little bit faster. Whereas as it gets a little closer to the planetary body, it kind of calms a little bit. So the middle piece is going to be the toughest part to get through, and you think it'll be a little easier once you clear this section. So go ahead and give me that badass piloting check from Sweet Spot.
Okay.
Can I assist at all?
In this case, I'm going to say no because he is doing the pilot. He's effectively doing the piloting himself. If you were bringing the Steelhaven in, I would say yes.
Are the things that we're avoiding small enough that if I were to fire at them with a weapon, it would actually have an impact?
No, these are too big.
Okay, I had a feeling. I just wanted to make sure. Well, don't kill us.
I'm not going to kill us by much. I rolled a 28 there, Mike.
28. All right, and the DC for this one's a little bit higher, so you made it. It was close, but you made it. So you're bobbing and weaving through the asteroid field over here. There's a couple of pieces of debris that get really close, and you notice them, and you kind of dive right underneath them, and it's like
hey,
right over your...
Hey, Bulkhead, I know you weren't here for the last time, but you know what this reminds me of? These fellas could probably tell you. This reminds me of the time that we were flying through the traffic coming up off of Cybertronian, and we were trying to get up to the Steelhaven. Maybe it was coming back from the Steelhaven the first time. I don't know which it was. But it was a lot like this. You know, ducking and weaving, bobbing, swaying, to and fro, up and down, a little bit of a spin here. You're not getting sick, are you? Don't worry. Carapace can hold it for you.
You were flying through the space lane? It seems awfully dangerous, Sweet Spot.
Oh, of course it was. Nothing I can't handle. I had the support of my whole crew, panning through the cabin. Everyone is just shaking their heads like, no.
Danger's his middle name. Sweet Danger Spot.
I like it.
I'm gonna do a scan though of everything while we pass, just to note anything, especially anything that's not just mineral.
Gotcha.
It's like, oh, you found an island size of a no-qual there. Whoa.
All right, you go ahead and make it through the second section. Go ahead and give me a piloting roll for the third section as you approach the space bridge. And Magnum, go ahead and give me a... are you using ship scanners or yourself?
Well, I'll connect to the ship scanners if I can, otherwise I'll just use my own.
All right, so go ahead and give me a computer's roll for ship's scanners.
Hey, that's not my scanning port. I got a 26 for my paladin.
Got a 35 for the computers.
With the closer range to some of this debris, you can tell that there are pieces of Cybertronians within the debris. You can kind of see like parts of like legs, arms, pieces of alt modes. Nothing too like amazingly different. So it everything is consistent with what it looks like. So it's consistent with what effectively used to be a city and a civilization.
Well, keep an eye out for anything interesting, pieces of equipment, any energon signals. Is there any chance of any of these things being still active?
You're pretty convinced that there's nothing in that one. You're past the second space into the third one. Sweet Spot, you have made your roll on that one with no problems. The debris field is not as volatile in this section, so you're able to get fairly close to the remains of the space bridge with little difficulty. And Magnum, as you're getting closer, you can tell that the space bridge is in 5 separate pieces. They are fairly close by to each other, which is a little surprising. You would have thought that over the last couple thousand years they would have drifted, but it looks like they managed to get caught in a somewhat stable area where there's not a whole lot of movement. So it's a little ways off each piece, but you think you can track down each of the 5 pieces. So
okay. Is there what is how complete are the pieces? I mean, they just sort of sliced into, or are they mangled at the ends? Like, how much work is it going to be to reconnect them?
Bulkhead will actually be the one to examine that, and he will tell you that it's probably going to take about 6 days to fix. But anyone who is helping out, and mechanically, if you help out with an engineering or computers check, each one will reduce the time by 1 day. So if you want to help out and aid, you can do that. But otherwise, it's going to end up taking 6 days total to effectively gather the pieces, repair them, put it back together, test it, and see if everything is functional. It is big enough to store within the Steelhaven. It is larger than Sweet Spot, though. So you think Sweet Spot could actually fly through it if it was active in his vehicle form.
Oh, interesting.
It's smaller than I expected it to be. Okay.
So could we just gather the pieces and reassemble it elsewhere? So instead of like building the ring, just like break the ring down and take it?
So you think you could gather the pieces and then maybe try bringing it back to the Steelhaven and then reassembling it there, or repairing it there? Or you could try to repair it here, bring the Steelhaven in to put it in the shuttle bay. I think there's a couple of different options you can take, but you know for certain that it will not, the completed ring will not fit inside Sweet Spot. You think you could potentially get the pieces inside Sweet Spot, but it is going to be a tight fit with everyone in there.
Could I possibly tow it?
Because if we're in low gravity...
Or zero
yes,
gravity.
You could tow it. You will need... I mean, like I said, 5 separate pieces, so you'll need to do something to either put them all together or tow each piece individually or what have you. But yeah, you think you could tow it.
We might want to get the Steelhaven closer in that case, so we don't have to make treacherous trip back and forth dragging something. Will the completed ring fit inside the Steelhaven?
Yes, it'll be a tight fit. You think it'll take up most of the shuttle bay floor, but it will fit.
Okay, so what is the intention with this? Like, now that we found the planet, it's effectively destroyed, there's no life here, there's no real incentive for us to keep it here, right? It's not like we're going to be like, oh, like, we're going to go mine the shit out of this place. Let's just, like, open the door and send in a whole bunch of miners and just, like, pull the planet in slowly at a time. Or is it better suited to, like, oh, let's create a new trade route to a planet that actually needs it?
That's what I would say. The latter.
Okay.
The choice is up to you guys. Bulkhead is there to just assess the viability of the space bridge actually working, and once he gets it repaired, to actually test it, make certain it works. But the actual decision as to what to do with it, now that the situation is not what's expected, is up to you.
So here's the plan. We'll tow one piece back. Everyone else can get out, except maybe just one person to help tow. And then I go back 2 more times, fitting one inside and towing another. 3 trips altogether, including this one. All right. In Starship combat with the engines, if you're going, I think, over speed 12, you actually get a penalty to your piloting checks. And if you're going speed 6 or less, you get a bonus to your piloting checks. Would you allow that to apply if I take it slow?
If you can convince me that you didn't take it fast on the previous one.
Damn it.
I have an issue with Sweet Spot trying to go slow.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Definitely out of character.
I can't do it.
I'm more concerned that his definition of slow just doesn't apply here.
With all of you in there, you think it's a really, really tight fit to even get one piece in. But you could do it if you just kind of shove yourselves up against the side of Sweet Spot's wall.
If there was no one inside, would we be able to fit 2 pieces in me?
Yes.
Okay,
so you can just hang out and wait out in space while he goes and comes back.
Then this is the plan. We fit 1 piece in me, tow 1 piece, go back to the ship, unload everyone. Then I go back, I fit 2 pieces in me, and tow a 3rd piece, and that's all of them. Now it's down to 2 trips.
Or, well, I was just thinking we could go to one of the pieces, unload everyone out there, put 2 pieces in, hook up a third, and you could fly it back yourself, and we'll just stay here with the last 2 pieces.
Yeah.
And check it out. I mean, to look at them while you're making your trip. You know, I mean, it's not like we're going to go anywhere.
All right, sweet. So you're the one flying, so you get to make the decision on this case. So what are you going to do?
All right, fine. Everybody out. Load 2 pieces in me.
He just blows us out the airlock. Boom.
Sweet spot, you open up your cargo hatch there, and everyone kind of files out and is hanging out in 0G in space here for a few. You load up 2 pieces into you and close the hatch. Presumably you load it in before you guys just jump out into 0G on there and you have trouble moving around.
Right. Everybody stick together.
And you fly back through the debris field. Give me 2 piloting checks, please.
That's not a problem. Do I get any bonuses because I've already navigated through this section?
No, because they are asteroids, so they are moving around a little bit.
Okay.
So it is a different field than it was before.
All right. First one is a 29, and the second one is a 24.
All right. So the first section here, heading away from the space bridge wreckage, no problem. You make it through. You avoid any moving asteroids. However, because the second section has a little bit tougher maneuvering through it, you actually don't make it. Which means, as you are approaching the Steelhaven, one of those bigger asteroids, maybe one that you're having a little bit of trouble avoiding because of the heavier load in your cargo bay here, manages to strike along the top of your alt form.
Oucha woucha.
As can leave a mark. Oh, well, that certainly didn't feel very nice at all.
So this piece of debris comes in, boom, hits you 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 points of damage.
15.
Oh, see, that's so kind. I thought it was going to be way, way, way more than that.
I rolled a 6, a 5, a 2, and 2 1s.
Okay, so could have been much worse.
Since you had the Steelhaven clear out the first one with that the bigger piece of debris, you are fine with that. So once you make it through the second section, you are clear to head back and dock at the Steelhaven. So you go ahead and you get yourself back in there, you dock, and the crew unloads your cargo bay.
All right. And I will contact Silverbeard.
Silver Fang? Or
Silverbeard. Yeah, Silverbeard. Captain, would it be possible to use the ship's very, very high-powered sensors to plot me a somewhat safer course through the asteroids to get back to where the space bridge is and my friends?
We can do that. And he will link you with the comm officer, or not the comm officer, the science officer, and they will do some scans. Not as good as Magnum's, of course, but they will be feeding you telemetry as you go through, and you can take a +2 to your piloting check.
Very good, very good. All right, now as I go...
You want to rest for 10 minutes, Adam, before you move?
No, I do not. I don't want to leave you guys out there any longer than I have to. I can take a lump or 2. Don't worry about that.
Brave soul.
And they were never heard from again.
All right, you fly back in. Give me 2 more piloting checks, please.
All right, guys, I'm coming back for you. I know you can't answer me because you don't have any air to make any noise. But
we have comm systems. Can I give him moral support over the comms?
Internal support.
You sure those asteroids was boss?
All right, here comes the first one. This is the toughie.
Just kick it in the ass.
+2 to that is a 27.
You barely made it, but you made it.
All right.
That was close. You see a piece of debris kind of like... right underneath you. It's like, whoa, I got
Now
it.
remember, if you see something, you say something there. You're looking on the comms on the scanners there. Don't worry about me. I have pretty good reflexes. 36 for the final one.
And that is more like the piloting checks I expect from Sweet Spot. Yes, you make it back to your friends in the debris field with no problems.
Indeed.
Do you guys ever watch Avatar: Last Airbender?
Of course.
In a couple episodes.
Yes,
The episode where he fights King Boomy and he's like dodging the rock, and you see him like he's like, you know, bent over backwards over the thing, just barely scraping by as this thing. Like, that's what I was just envisioning when you were.
Yep.
Like, just barely. It's like.
Ooh.
Like he touched it tangentially, you know, like like that's how close it was.
All right. Why don't you guys? I'll open up and let these guys load in. I only took 2 pieces, so I gotta take another 2, and then come back for them and the final piece.
He was gonna take 3.
Yeah,
We're gonna load 2 and you drag 1.
But I needed someone to be there to tow, because I don't have a tow cable. So load me up. Oh, gently. Don't want to damage the interior.
Okay, you get yourself loaded up again, ready for round 2. Give me 2 more piloting checks.
All right.
We'll get through this one pretty easily, I think.
Well, let me give you a little energon boost.
Does that help out with stamina?
It helps out with rolls. Like your next roll will be at +1, I think.
I get you. Cool. The next roll isn't the tough one. It's the one after that that's the tough one.
As a standard action, you may use 1 energon node to give a 1d4 morale bonus to an attack roll, skill check, or saving throw. This bonus lasts for 1 minute or until used.
Okay, so you could save it for the second one.
All right.
Hold on, I'm trying to make the roll. 3 + 3.
All right. Well, I'll contact the captain. I'm about to start my return approach. Feed me that telemetry, that sweet, sweet telemetry again. Here I go.
You should be having information coming through now.
First one with +2 would be a 28 for that first one.
28 is successful.
Right, and this one's going to be with a little bit of moral support from my very good friend Malcolm. Magnum.
Who's this Malcolm you speak of?
What'd you get?
This will be with a +3 from him, +2 from the ship. That'll be a 26 +3 is a 29, +2 is a 31. Woo.
More than enough. You got that one.
Woo. Make it back to the ship
Sliding.
and
Sliding
unload.
right through.
All right, unload. Time to go back. This time, I'm bringing back friends.
2 more to get through.
Right. This one here is a 40. I sure hope that's enough.
40 is plenty.
And the one after that is a 32.
That's more than enough.
All right, guys. Load in 1 and squeeze in. Ooh,
Alrighty.
yeah. Careful where you put your feet and things. And I stress on things for you, Carapace. I know you got a lot of things sticking off of you.
He has trouble wearing a sweater.
Okay, give me those last 2 rolls.
All right. Here comes the first
There's
one.
another +3 for you.
Okay, I'm going to save that for the second one, if you don't mind.
Oh yes, of course.
All right.
Did we
so
see any
that-
interesting junk while we're out there?
Well, it's all pretty interesting. Very, very morbid, but interesting.
Yeah, nothing too amazing. Like I said, it's like the remnants of the civilization. I mean, you can try to salvage some stuff if you want, but nothing really looks too interesting or amazing.
All right.
Any parts that might have a memory log, like somebody's head or something like that?
No, I don't see anything.
For some reason, all the heads have been taken. 32
never good.
is the first roll.
32 is enough.
Oh, they all lost their heads.
Make it through the first area.
Not us. We're going to make it through. Ready? Here goes. Total of +5 over on this, and that would make that a 38 + 5, 43 for the final roll.
That is what I'm talking about. You make it through. and clear the debris field and make it back to the Steelhaven. And as you pull into the hangar bay, we will see you next time.
Yes. All right. I think I need a sonic shower.
With a successful mission.
No cliffhanger.
From the Secret Files of Teletran 1, Empire of Rust is written and GM'd by Michael Ordway. Headmaster Magnum and his partner Pythagoras are played by Matthew G. Candidate Sweet Spot, representative of Velocitron, is played by Adam H.U. The Decepticon Warrior, Wildstrike, is played by Mike M. And Carapace, the Beast Soldier of Primitive Eucharis, is played by Patrick Finn. Additional characters are played by Michael and Cassandra Ordway. Empire of Rust is supported by the humans and networks of planet Earth, whose online networks provide access to libraries of sound effects and music, such as Storyblocks, Zasplat, Blue Zone, and Dark Fantasy Studios. We are distributed by the Transmissions Podcast Network. Stay up to date with all the latest news and reviews in the world of the Transformers by going to transmissionspodcast.com or searching for the Transmissions in your podcast app of choice. You can communicate with the heroes of Iacon by joining us on the Transmissions Discord channel. There you can discuss episodes, talk to the cast, and download the rule set used in the Empire of Rust. Teletran 1, signing off.